we looked at some short stories by somebody called David Gaffney, and looked at his advice for writing very short stories. And one of them was write long and then make it short. And it was quite liberating. It's quite liberating for me as well, because I do a lot of perfecting in my head. And it's like, no, just write it all down and then have it there like a big piece of unwieldy cloth, and then start cutting.
I think that for a lot of people, writing or reading still has that kind of Victorian era hangover, that it's meant to be self-improving, that it's meant to be good for you. And that if you read something that's enjoyable, you know, you should feel guilty for that, because that's absolute bollocks, because you shouldn't be feeling guilty for enjoying yourself. That's what literature is all about. You know, it's showing you different worlds, it's showing you different ways of living. It's getting inside different heads and exploring them. You know, it's letting you as a person empathize more with other people.
It feels absolutely awful when I'm writing a first draft. It really is like getting blood from a stone, which I suppose means it probably is good for me. And it feels wonderful when I finish and emerge out the other end. But the weird thing is, often when I'm writing a book, I'm so close to it, I don't really know initially what it's about. I mean, obviously I know who the characters are, but I often don't notice what the themes are on the first draft, and it's only when I come to rewrite I see there are themes writ large, and I can bring them into better focus when I'm rewriting.
A sentence is a sound. I think Robert Hass said that, and a poem is meant to be read out loud, whether or not a poem is meant to be read out loud. Whatever we want to say about the distinctions between different kinds of poetry, it started in an oral tradition, and I don't think you get the sounds quite right unless you can hear it. So yes, I do read out loud.
So the way I kept going is I've got some really good friends who write, and some of these people are poets who make no money, and they kept me going. I can honestly say I'm not sure if I would have kept going much longer. I would say cultivate a positive peer group of fellow writers.
Right, okay.
And yeah, I would say that's vital. And most writers do cultivate a peer group.
I think the ending is often the hardest as well. I think quite a lot of people can start a novel, not many people can finish it. But I think the sign of a novelist is someone who can finish a novel. And I think the ending is often the most taxing part, because you've got a lot of decisions to make. In real life, there are no endings. Not even death is a real ending, because you go on living on in people's memories. So I think real skill of the novelist is probably in the ending. And from my own point of view, I will miss a novel when it's finished, however much I loathed it when writing it. And I don't think there's only one novel I've written right through without loathing it at some point, and really, really wishing I'd never started it. I think writing a novel is a bit like a marriage, actually. I think it's bound to have moments of extreme depression, difficulty, and sometimes outright loathing. But on the whole, I think, if it's a good enough marriage and a good enough novel, you will miss it when it's gone.